Guys, let's talk about perfumes. I never wear a perfume on the day I travel because I want to try on perfumes in the airport. This time I tried on Scarlet Poppy by Jo Malone, which is kind of warm and sweet but really faint on me. I tried on Velvet Rose and Oud, which is kind of your classic unsweet rose note profile, like very typical. But Olympia Solar by Paco Rabanne was a twin to Paco Rabanne fame. I mean a twin, exact twin. So here's our place. Yeah, it was gorgeous. Look at that view of San Diego and our hot tub. There was a fire pit. This was a beautiful yard. A little like mini pot. It was just the perfect yard. I didn't wear any perfumes this day because I didn't put on any more perfumes this day because we were busy unpacking. We grabbed a few groceries, and we got in the hot tub that night. We tried to stay up till 9 or 9:30 California time, which was 1 or 1:30 a.m. our time. And we've been up since 3:30 a.m. that morning because we had to be up early to catch our flight. But anyways, look at the view from that kitchen sink. My gosh, I wish I had more dishes to do. LOL. Here we are I thought this place was so sweet. I love the decor. Oh, just loved it. Here is our bedroom, which you'll see later in the video. And here is the guest room, which was really sweet. My son and his friend came down to stay with us for 3 nights, which you'll see later on in this video. There's my husband practicing his putting. And then there was this little spare room here was so cute. Oh, look, it was 80 degrees. What a gorgeous day. It was just perfect. And so when I travel, I'm telling you, I use travel size perfumes and samples. Like, I take the word travel size very seriously. And when I travel, that's what I take. I didn't take any full bottles. I almost took one, but I didn't. So you'll be seeing all these perfumes coming up in this video. Like I said, most of them were samples, but they have really good sprayers. So I get a really good idea of these perfumes. This is a great chance for me to test them in different climates. So yeah. So day 2, we decided to drive to Coronado Island to go out for lunch. We could see the bridge from our backyard, and we thought it'd be fun to drive over. It was a really nice hot day, and I wanted something really light and bright and fresh. So I went with Mac Turquatic. Have y'all heard Kathleen Lights talk about this? It's just as pretty as she describes it. It's really kind of aquatic, but fruity. It smells blue, but not like blue toilet bowl cleaner, more like blue candy. But the musk in this is so, so pretty. We were going to be in the car. I thought it was going to be hot. I didn't want to overwhelm my husband or anything. So this was perfect for that day. The only problem, it doesn't project very much, but that's okay. Here we are in Coronado Island, a really sweet spot. I got my fish tacos with my blackened fish. Oh my gosh, so delicious. You know I'm going to be having fish tacos and a margarita with a sugar rim. Try it. Like a regular margarita, put a sugar rim. I'm telling you, so good. Those fish tacos were amazing. We found a coffee spot called Better Buzz, which we went back to a few times. This was just like a gorgeous little island. Absolutely loved this spot. We want to go back, but I don't think they do VRBOs there. We can't find any online, but that night we got back and I made some pad thai. We enjoyed the sunset. Oh my word, I want to be back there right now, just looking at this. Yeah, San Diego state of mind, truly. Oh my word, the sunset was so gorgeous. I was still catching a few whiffs of Mac Turquatic, but not too much. However, it was just so pretty. Every time I smelled it up close, it was just so pretty, you guys. Spoiler alert, I ended up ordering it while we were away, and it will be getting to me soon. An amazing deal on Lisa's Cosmetics. So on the MAC website, a 50ml bottle is $75, but on Lisa's Cosmetics, I got a 2-pack, like two 50ml bottles for $59. Amazing. I'm gonna give a bottle to my sister. I'm so excited. Here we are in the hot tub, and the view was even prettier, if you can believe it, when the lights came out at night. You could just see all of the city of San Diego. The downtown was kind of like right in the middle. Oh, so pretty. I loved it. So after getting cleaned up from the hot tub, I put on a scent for bedtime, which was Nina Ricci Rose Extase, the one in the pink bottle. And it was a really pretty, fruity, sweet rose. I really liked it. It reminded me a lot of Stella Pop. Like, it had that little bit of a plastic doll head, soft sweetness to it that I really loved. But through the night, I caught whiffs of it, and I thought it smelled like Delina. So this was my husband's reaction to this scent. He said, "Oh my Lord." I won't tell you what else he said, but he loved it. And I wore it again later in this trip, and you'll see what his reaction was to it the second time. Of course, he wouldn't realize it was the same one again. But anyway, yeah, this was a total favorite of his. So we love to spend our mornings by the fire pit having coffee, and it was usually very cool, and it was really nice to have a cozy, warm scent to wear with a snuggly sweater. And for the first morning, I chose Jardins de Misfa by Une Nuit Nomade. And you guys, I could not have chosen anything better. This was gorgeous. It was so cozy. It made me feel so happy. It definitely has sweetness from the dates, but that rose is a standout note to me. Oh my gosh, like the nutmeg and the cardamom and the saffron just elevate it. The almond makes it so cozy. I couldn't have been happier. Look how happy I am to be wearing that scent. I'm just like, I'm in my glory. Like, sunrise was beautiful. The air was fresh and cool, not too cold. The fire was perfect. You could feel the warmth from it. I was in my happy place. Like, this was perfect. I was having watermelon, my favorite fruit. Come on. Like, this was so perfect. But as much as I enjoyed wearing that scent, it was the day of my big shower. You guys know what I mean by big shower. Not just a quick rinse off, but the, double shampoo, condition, hair mask, exfoliate, shave, the works. And I decided to wear this body lotion by the Fragrance Shop, which is a really sweet little company that I'd love to do a whole video on sometime. They had a version of Bal d'Afrique, and now I had to decide which perfume I wanted to wear with it. I was tossed up between Sun Bleached by Une Nuit Nomade and Lancôme Hypnose. Even though Hypnose had a few similar notes like vetiver and jasmine, I really felt that Sun Bleached shared more of the same vibe. Like, they both kind of seem yellow to me. They both have that like citrusy freshness. Unfortunately, it did not last on me. I could not smell it on myself, and I had sprayed myself fairly liberally as well. So I went in, I cut up a peach, doused myself again, went back out to read, and I smelled nothing. I mean, I literally smelled nothing at all. So I decided to switch it up, and I wore Lancôme Idole Nectar. I didn't really get the popcorn that people mention in this, but I did get almost like a little bit of an oud vibe, but it was actually light, fruity, and fresh. It was just right for running errands. We went to get some subs. We got a few more groceries because the kids were going to be arriving the next day. And yeah, it was the perfect scent for that. So that night we went out to dinner, and I wanted to wear something that was kind of a statement-making fragrance. I decided to go with Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, and I layered it with Burberry Goddess, but it really didn't even need it. Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper is so gorgeous on its own. I honestly didn't pick up the Burberry Goddess at all, but anyway, I was wearing a blazer, and it felt like it went with it. We found this really sweet restaurant called Firefly, and it was on Mission Beach, which is where we stayed last year on our California vacation, and we had never discovered this little restaurant, so I was pretty impressed with it. It was so pretty, and I just loved like the location. The vibe was so cool. Loved it. I enjoyed that fragrance so much that night. It was just so perfect. It gave me like sophisticated, elegant vibes. I just, you know, I'm loving rose, but it was amazing. I loved it. It was the perfect choice for that evening. So we arrived home that evening. We played some cards before bed, but we were pretty excited because the next morning my son Hunter and his friend Maxie were arriving and we were going to be picking them up at the airport. So that morning we were super excited and I decided to wear Lancome Hypnose. The reason that I chose that was because I knew we were going to be giving hugs and it was just kind of a non-offensive, you know, sweet, fruity scent. It did have a little bit of an anise scent to it, which I had forgotten. This was one of the longest lasting and most projecting fragrances I wore for the entire trip, to be honest, and the musk lasted in my inner elbow until the next morning. Here is my plate of chilaquiles at the Breakfast Republic. This plate was friggin' huge. It was like 2 handspans. It was, oh my God, it was ginormous. So after picking the kids up at the airport, we wanted to show them Coronado Island, which we had discovered, and we just thought that they would love it. And they did. So we just went down and showed them the Coronado Hotel, and we took them onto the beach. I thought this was kind of funny. That's my husband. Our last name is Park, and it says Park here. LOL. And the rest of the day, basically, we went to lunch in Carlsbad because the last time Hunter and Maxie stayed with us in California in 2019, we stayed in Carlsbad. So we went back there for old time's sake. We barbecued steak that night, had roasted potatoes, and we picked up Hunter's race packet because he had signed up for a 5K, Pacific Beach 5K, and so we decided to spend the day on the beach after that. And so I wore Ellis Brooklyn Fawn, which is kind of a sunscreeny scent, but it ended up being very plasticky and I actually didn't enjoy it. There's Hunter coming in for his race. He actually finished, I think, like 47th out of 700 and some people, which was, I think he was in the top 6%. So I thought that was like awesome. Yeah, so it was Pacific Beach Fest and we just hung out on the beach the rest of the day. Checked out some of the vendors. We drove down to Belmont Park in Mission Beach and hung out there, and then we came home and got ready to go to dinner in downtown San Diego that evening. So I had my shower and I wore Hugo Boss Deep Red, this lotion by the Fragrance Shop, and that was really nice. I just had to decide what to layer with it. So I went with African Queen by Jusette. Now I heard about this perfume from Marcy. You guys may know her as Marshmallow. She's Marcelina Teresa here on YouTube. And judging by the notes, I thought this was going to be a really complex scent with a lot of vanilla and chocolate, but really all I got out of it was a pretty simple vanilla. A little bit spicy. It reminded me of Vanilla Woods, which is not one of my favorite scents, but it was a pretty good scent for the night. Now, look at these lipsticks. There's one of these that I did not include in my lipstick swatch video. Did you guys see my lipstick swatch video? I'm pretty sure you didn't because I think only 120 people have seen it. It didn't go out that far. But the YSL Rouge Pure Couture 10 was one that I had included in that video. But the Stila Color Bomb lipstick in the shade Jessie, I actually found that in my purse on this trip. So I'm sorry I didn't include it in my all of my neutral lipstick collection. But those are the two that I wore tonight. Like I kind of layered those lipsticks together for my evening look. So here we are in downtown San Diego. There's Petco Park. And we walked around and we found a restaurant to eat at. And this is the scene of my husband's worst meal of his entire life. I won't go into the whole story, but we all felt kind of bad for him. And Maxie's meal wasn't that great either, but Hunter and me, we both had pretty good meals. Yeah, so we just walked around a little bit more downtown. The next morning, it was time to sit by the fire pit and watch the sunrise. And for this morning, I chose Tiziana Terenzi to Bit. And oh my gosh, I loved it to bits. It was so good. It almost smelled like it had oud. I don't know. Like I know it has woody notes. I don't think it specifically says oud, but oh my gosh, I loved it. It was just perfect. It was cozy, coconutty. Oh, loved it. Now, you guys, Hunter and Maxie and Michael all wanted to go see the wall and go to the outlets, which were on the Mexican border. And I was very salty about this because I did not want to go. So I wore a salty fragrance, Paco Rabanne Olympia Aqua Legere. And to tell you the truth, I didn't even notice I was wearing it because I was kind of a nervous wreck the whole time. Where the wall goes into the ocean was at this state park called Friendship Park, I think it was. And it was closed, so thank God. I had like heart palpitations thinking about going to see that wall where it goes into the ocean. I don't know why. I think I just have some irrational fears. So, we did still get to see the wall. There it is. And, there were some horses. I made it okay. I survived. So since that park was closed, they decided to go to a different park and go on a hike. And while they were up one trail, Michael and I saw the border police arrest 3 people up a trail that they had just come down. So we're like, let's get out of here. Let's go to the outlet malls. Here's where we almost went to Mexico by mistake. I just have this fear like I'm going to get sucked into Mexico by some vacuum if I get too close to the border, and I'm going to end up in jail for the rest of my life. I guess I've watched too many episodes of Dateline. But here I got to go to Victoria's Secret, you guys, and I got to smell Victoria's Secret Bear, which I wanted to smell for so long. And it was pretty good, but it had a little bit too much spiciness to it, like Vicks Vapor Rub spiciness, just faint, but just enough to bother me. So we went to lunch at Chili's, which was 20 times better than the meal we had in downtown San Diego. And then we got to go to Ross, and here I am looking through all the perfumes. I don't get to do this very often, and I know it's just the same old kind of like not exciting perfumes, but it was still fun for me to see them. And so we had a good adventurous day out. Mama survived. I was nervous throughout that day, but I survived. So for Hunter and Maxie's last night in California, we decided to go to the beach for sunset and to eat dinner on the beach. Since we were going to be outside, I chose Orchidée Vanille by Van Cleef & Arpels, which I know is so strong and so sweet, and it does open very chocolate and vanilla, but it dries down, and I promise you this, it smells exactly like Live Colorfully by Kate Spade, identical. When I realized that, I was like blown away. There's Belmont Park, the little amusement park on Mission Beach, and it was a little bit of a cloudy night, but Hunter and Maxie were able to get a few sunset photos. Are they adorable or what? We all loved our tacos at Sandbar restaurant, and we just had a really great night. Drove back to our place, and the next morning, sadly, it was time to drop them off at the airport. Now, the perfume that I chose for this morning was the one that I almost brought a full bottle of on the trip, and that is Narciso Rodriguez Cristal. It's the perfect combination between like a very pretty, fruity floral, just lovely, but also has like cozy, powdery mom vibes. So it was exactly what I wanted to wear that morning to say goodbye and give hugs to the kids. Now, last time after they left, we cried for like a day, but this time we went to Coronado Island again to cheer ourselves up. And I had an absolutely fantastic gluten-free banana bread. Did y'all know I'm gluten-free? Anyway, in California, there's so many amazing gluten-free options, so it was delicious and yeah, cheered me right up. And we practiced our putting. I got a few good ones in. I'll show you all the best moments, but we actually spent hours on this little mini putt golf course, and we also played horseshoes, which they had there, and we played the, little beanbag toss. I think it's called cornhole. We had so much fun there. It was just the perfect backyard, and this was going to be our last night there. I love these flowers. Are they called like bougainvillea or something? I might be totally saying that wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But they were just so pretty. So we had one more big night out on the town, and so I had my big shower again. And this time I used oil of Soleil Neige. This was the dry body oil. Soleil Neige is kind of like a lightly sweet and like buttery smell, so I thought it would go with anything. And this body oil, it doesn't stay oily. Like it gives a little sheen, but it soaks into your skin really nicely. And so now I had to decide, what was I going to wear? I was deciding between Tamine Blue Heart and Mancera Roses Vanille. Decided to go with Roses Vanille. I actually layered it as well with Vanilla Vibes, but it really didn't need it. Roses Vanille, oh my gosh. This was the perfect experience. I really want a bottle of that now. It was so good. Is it going to make my top 3 perfumes of this trip? I am not sure yet. I have to really think about it, and I'll let you know what were my top 3 fragrances of the 20 on this trip. The food at this place wasn't really great, but the wine was good. Most importantly. And the view was amazing. We actually ate, this was in Mission Beach, and we actually ate here on our last trip last year. That's me telling you that I love the wine. And even after the sun went down, it was still so pretty with all the lights. It doesn't really come across as well in the video, but it was beautiful. And this dessert actually wasn't even that good either, but that's okay. We still had an amazing time, and then it was time to head back to our place. Not me acting foolish and contemplating life as a curly-haired person when I love straight hair, but oh well, it's pretty. This was our last night. We were saying cheers and goodbye to Casa La Vista. We had an amazing time, and now it was time to move up to San Clemente for the last 3 nights of our stay. And I found this travel size of Golden Nectar by Nest in my purse. I forgot I even had it, so it was a great one to wear for that day. It's a really strong one. And it's kind of just like a really pretty vanilla. There's our suitcases. Here I am saying goodbye to the house. I really loved it. And I'm glad we had this place to stay as our VRBO. Of course, we had to stop in Coronado Island again. We went back to our favorite coffee spot we found called Better Buzz. And they had a really fantastic gluten-free breakfast sandwich. This was actually amazing. We continue to drive up the coast, and I can just feel it when we're getting close to Carlsbad. Carlsbad is our place. It's our favorite place. We have stayed in dozens of places in California over the last 9 or 10 years. And hey, they have a Better Buzz right here in Carlsbad. That's exciting. So next time we come back, that's where we'll go. Tortilla Mia is my favorite Mexican restaurant. It used to be called Las Olas, but they still, even with the name change, they still have the best Mexican food in my opinion. I just absolutely love it. Of course, I got, I think, a fish taco and a shrimp taco this time. And of course, my margarita with the sugar rim. This is a really sweet spot. Of course, we had to visit the Sleeping Tigers from Sleeping Tiger Coffee. And we walked around Carlsbad, but then it was time to continue heading up to San Clemente so that we could check into our VRBO. And we arrived at Starfish Beach House. This is a really sweet little place. bring in a few more things from the car. We decided to just walk around town and explore. We were so close to the beach, and we just decided to take a walk, look at the shops, look at the restaurants. We walked on the pier. We watched the surfers. We could watch the surfers all day. We absolutely love watching them and just like waiting to see if they're going to catch the next wave. Like, it's something we could do for hours. Sunset was so pretty that night, and we just relaxed and took in all the vibes of the beach. That night we went out for pizza. Michael has been wanting to get anchovy pizza, and their gluten-free pizza actually was pretty good there. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find somewhere that offers both gluten-free pizza and anchovies. Took a drive to Capistrano Beach, and the rest of the evening we just chilled and played cards. I decided to wear Tamine Blue Heart, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was actually so cozy and good. I loved it. There we are playing. We usually play crib, but that night we played a game of golf. Have you guys played that? Now, the next morning was kind of cloudy and cool, so now is my chance to wear Alien. This is the pre-reformulation, the one that says Terry Mugler. Yeah, it was pretty strong, so this is me warning you guys to please don't spray this more than 4 times. That's it. We went and had a cute breakfast at Bear Coast Coffee, and that was actually really delicious. There was so many sweet dogs in this town. We watched the train go by. We just hung out on the beach, and guess what? We watched the surfers again. They're amazing. They're so talented. It's like they actually run to go to the beach with their surfboards. They're so passionate about it. This little guy was, oh my gosh, he couldn't have been more than 12. We only wanted to watch him. And I was listening in, and these 2 pigeons were talking about my perfume. They were pretty sure it was Alien. One was asking the other guy, like, do you think it's Alien? I'm not sure. But the sun did come out that day, and we went to the outlets because we had to buy new luggage. Actually, my suitcase ended up with a really big hole in it, but we didn't find anything there that we really wanted, so we ended up getting a really nice suitcase at TJ Maxx. I was excited to go there, and guess what? I got to go to Ulta, and then this is Nordstrom Rack, and there wasn't a whole lot there that was too exciting, but you know, I don't know, and there wasn't even that much great to try on at Ulta. Like, I tried on Ariana Grande Cloud Pink because I'd never tried that before, and I didn't love it, although I don't love the original. So for the rest of the afternoon, we just wanted to spend the day at the beach. My friend Chris from the Perfume Nest gave me this face sunscreen one time when she sent me some samples, and I've taken it on every trip since she gave it to me. I think this thing will never run out. I wore Valaya to the beach that day, and I've been back and forth with Valaya, but I mean, it was unremarkable to me. I could have cared less whether I had it on or not. I didn't even really notice if I had it on. But the beach was beautiful. You know, I never really did get any compliments on my perfumes when I was in California, not that I expected to. This bird, however, did come over and tell me he did like Valaya, so that was a good thing. More watching the surfers. I'm telling you, it is absolutely mesmerizing. So my husband and I officially dubbed this beach the most walkable beach that we have ever been on, whether in the Caribbean or here in California. It was completely flat, so you're never walking on an angle. The sand was hard packed, the sand was soft, and it was a long beach, so you could walk for quite a ways. And one of our favorite things to do in the world is to walk on the beach. So we absolutely loved this beach, and even though the town is super hilly and hard to walk in fact, we mostly drove to any of the restaurants we went to because they were such steep hills in the town. The beach was perfect to walk on. So of course I had a shower after being at the beach, and I decided to wear the Bal d'Afrique lotion again, but I wasn't really feeling well that day. I think I ate something that wasn't that great. So I didn't wear any additional perfume with that. I just stuck with the lotion, and that was just fine. we watched the sunset at home, and then we went out to dinner, had a really, really nice steak dinner at Brussels Bistro. It was lovely. Now the next morning, we went for a walk on the pier and we had breakfast, and I decided that I wanted to wear one of my very favorites from the trip, Jardins de Misfa. I was so excited to wear it, and again, it was perfect. I absolutely love this scent. Probably gonna order it. It was a beautiful morning. Again, we were watching the surfers, having a great time, and I know I am including a lot of footage of the beach, but it was just so beautiful to me, and it may not even be coming across on video as gorgeous as it actually was, but oh my land, we could have stood there at the pier for hours, and we did actually. We had a really nice breakfast, and it was right on the pier, so we could continue to watch the surf and see the water. It was really nice. This little guy was chasing the birds and having the time of his life. It was adorable. So we went back to our place and just chilled for a little while, and we decided to drive up to Dana Point. And that day I decided to wear Burberry Goddess, and this was one of the best wearing experiences that I had on the whole trip. The scent bubble was incredible. It lasted for a long time, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It wasn't just your basic vanilla. It was amazing. Now you're looking straight up the cliffs here at Dana Point. Like, this is an amazingly beautiful spot. Maybe someday we'll stay here too. We ended up going on a little mini hike that went down onto that little platform down there that you see. And the view here was spectacular. You could see the whole marina. You could see all the cliffs. I loved looking at all these houses. And yeah, it was just beautiful scenery, and we had a great time. And that Burberry Goddess was just making me feel amazing. I absolutely loved it. It's a contender for my top 3. I have to really think about it, but it's definitely in the running. We drove back home, and we actually stopped for Thai food on the way, which was really good. And then we decided to go for another long walk on the beach that afternoon, and it was another magically beautiful day. So that night I had my last big shower before our travel day home tomorrow. And before bed I wore the Hugo Boss Deep Red lotion, which is always just like a really comforting scent, so that helped me get to sleep that night. So finally it was day to travel home, and that morning I wore Nina Ricci Rose Extase. And guess what? Michael came in and he's like, "You smell good." And I said, "Well, what do I smell like?" He said, "I don't know, but it smells good, really good." So this might have to be another one that I add to my wish list. I'm just trying to tell myself that it's time to leave and say goodbye. This is the same thing I travel in every time. My thin sweatshirt and my leggings. And so, of course, we stopped at Carlsbad on the way down to the airport, and I had huevos rancheros. And, you know, Carlsbad's our favorite place. Look up, way up. And there I am in the sky, flying home. have my wine, I have my little Air Canada meal, my chicken and potatoes. I always love their meals on there. So it was a great trip. There were a few perfumes that I actually craved while I was there and wish I had taken. I'll leave those in the comments. And now it's time for me to tell you my top 3 perfumes from the trip.
I just got off the phone with the girl who loves you too. Said you're working on yourself. Is she helping with that too? You gave her the time of day. You told her that you would stay. You made me feel the same way. What goes around comes around. That's what I